Thunder fairly soon. A little bit of design, I guess. All I do, I'll draw about 3/4 of an inch. I'm only doing this to get a straight line to work off of. This video, by the way, is going to be, I might edit it, I'm not sure. Depends on how long it takes me to do it. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get a 90-degree angle here. Cheap. Now from that same point, all I'm going to do is I'm going to line it back up. Now, with this, you can do any type of cant you want to do. 10 degrees, 20 degrees, it's fairly up to you. I choose the 20 degrees because it's comfortable for me. So what you're going to do is, you can imagine, the gun's in the holster. So you're going to want it like that. Forward cant. So I'm going to go ahead, 10 and 20. Right there. It's going to be the same intersecting point. And there's my cant. Now typically what I'll do now is turn it around. I work better that way. It's easier for me to remember. It's forward. That's just my preference. It's the way I am. I don't know. Okay. Now I'll line it up. So that way your line is going straight down the barrel. I can use this line right here. Okay. You can see. Straight down there. Now, I'll just simply trace around the pistol. Oops. And for this part of it, if you're going to do a 1911, you plan on carrying cocked and locked, make sure you got your hammer back, because the next step I show you, you'll end up with your hammer sticking past your bodyguard. So there you go. Now that I got that on, I'm going to go ahead and flip it around again. Well, maybe not all the way. I'm kind of, just so full disclosure, I haven't rehearsed this. I'm just doing it like I would sit down and draw a holster out, and I go ahead and work on it. This is the way I do it, any new holster. All right, so I want my sweat guard basically to come up like that and just cover the tang and slope down, because you don't want too much of it. Just like that. I'm not really an in order kind of guy. I jump around and do things however I want to do it. So now what we want to do is, off of that line you just created, your 20 degrees, go ahead and get a right angle to it. Draw that. There's the bottom of your holster. Okay, so you can take your belt. I'm going to use this piece of leather that I use as my belt. Holsters, typically what you want to do is you want to get it over the top, basically like this. So that way your belt is running through the center of the pistol. That's where most of the weight's going to be. It's going to be comfortable. Now you can move it down a little bit. I wouldn't go too far, but right there is a good spot. Now what I'll do normally is this is going to move around quite a bit, so don't fall in love with it where you got it. Just get there. Now, if you check your hand, the width of your finger is about 1 inch. Keep that in mind, because from here to the top of your leather, coming in here, you're going to need 1 inch. If not, you're going to try to get your hand in there. It's going to hit the top of the leather, and it's going to be horrible. You're going to end up spending all this time, and it's going to be for nothing. So, you got 1 inch right there. But remember your finger. Let's start here. So, you're going to end up with your holster. Kind of like what you're looking at here is the back. So, going to be the back of the leather coming up like this. Now, I normally do that just as a guide to kind of get me going. Like you can see, this is going to end up sliding down some. Not a big deal. Out here, do about an inch. Is that right? About an inch. I got big fingers. If your fingers aren't so big, then obviously you don't have to worry about that much. You're going to have a lot of lines on this. Don't worry about it. You'll be all right. So then what I'll do is I'll just curve this up a little bit like that. Okay. So there you go. You got your good purchase. Your leather will not come past this point. You know, anywhere close to that. Now, your belt loops. Again, you're going to need about a 1/2 inch of leather between here and the top of your belt. So make sure you got that. I'm having a hard time, can't reach getting them away. There we go, we got a 1/2 inch there. So I want to measure this and see where we're at. At the bottom of my line, looks like we got, well, it's not going to be right, but it's about 2 5/8. So we're going to move down here. And you can tell how it's not straight, so I'll move it up a little bit. There you go. 2 5/8. 2 5/8. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now, typically what I'll do at this point, because I'm fairly happy with it, I know I have enough room here, I'm just going to go ahead and trace that real light all the way down. And then I can remove it. There's your belt. That line is where you're going to end up doing your holes at. Okay? Now, off your trigger guard here, you're going to need minimum of a 1/2 inch back. And normally I'll go about 1 inch from there. Okay, so if you figure on your line, 1 inch here, and then typically what I'll end up doing is trying to get this all lined up. Use the wrong tools, you can tell I'm just trying to get it somewhat fluid. Okay, so that's my lines there. What I want to do again is check, make sure I've still got my my full inch, and I'm good. Excuse me. Now, depending on the size belt you have, depends on how thick this hole is going to be. Typically, I use this punch here. It just says it's about a 1/4 inch. It ends up being a little bit bigger. So I'm going to allow just a hair more than a 1/4. Okay, about 3/8 down here on each side. Once again, connect the line. Okay, there's my belt loop. Now, when you do it, you're going to end up with something similar to this. So, there you go. This side, almost 100% here. I'm going to turn it. Please forgive me for turning it around. This is just where I come out. I want to make sure when you're stitching, you can imagine your line's going to be coming around like that. All right. You want to make it so you can, bottom of your leather, you can come out and then kind of scoot up. So what I'm going to end up doing is kind of like this. Remembering to keep, sometimes I do this automatic, so I got to remember to play it. You got your 1/2 inch. Okay. You can do it if you want to get real precise. Do your 1/2 inch there, 1/2 inch there. Go ahead and connect that up like that. Remember, still got your 1 inch, so you're still good to go. Everything here is going to be below. Nice round edge. You can use a compass if you want, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. This is just showing you. I guess I kind of get used to the angles and everything since I've made a few. Okay, again, up front, want to do 1 inch, right? Okay, 1 inch. Now with this, because it's angled, I'm not going to be able to just measure like I did and get lucky. I'm going to have to, you see how important this bottom line is? Use it for a lot. again, you can go off of this 3/8, 3/8, connect it up. All right. Now, you're okay. I didn't bother telling you. About a 1/4 inch. That's about what I do. But like I said, I've kind of worked on it, so I know what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and I apologize. I'm trying to say as much as I can and explain as much as I can. And of course, you can always ask me questions and email. I mean, not email, but if you know me, while I'm at it, let me go ahead and say this. Bursa Chat. If you guys don't know about that website, check it out. It's www.bursachat.com. If you want to know anything about Bursa, those are the guys to ask. They know everything about them. Great website. I owe my short-lived career of holster making to everybody on there. All right, back to the holster. Now what you want to do, when you got your holster, you got to remember, you're going to have your leg up here. So you don't want to just come up on some crazy angle like that, but you want to leave enough. Again, you got your, okay, like that, your stitch line. Well, you want to have some to come out like this. You don't want to have it coming straight down like that. I've done that before. It just doesn't look right. So you want to come out a little bit. So we're going to do, I'm going to pick about 5/8. Remember, this is going to be my holster, so I'm trying to do a good job because I don't want to. Okay, see, I'm happy with that. I'm just following that path. Now I'm just going to bring it up like this. Remember the 1/2 inch, stay clear of that. And start to arc it up. All right. Well, that's what the holster is going to look like from the back. Just the back piece. Fairly easy. No big deal. Okay. So now, too bad.